times in Game 1, 3 times last night as well, as the Reds take the field, looking to salvage. Orioles going for a 3-game sweep here on Peacock, as we send it up to the guys that will call the game, that being John Sadak and McDonald.
Well, thank you, Jim. Kids getting a prime autograph. Ellie De La Cruz, who has been electric over the last week. The average up, hard hit rate up as well. Backing up, lefty Nick Lodolo, a long southpaw, who will see an overwhelmingly right-handed lineup today, Ben.
Yeah, Lodolo missed, 6 weeks with an index blister problem he had for a while, only making his 11th start of the year. But I tell you what, his last 2 starts, he has been much better. Back-to-back starts against the Milwaukee Brewers, one of the best teams in baseball, and all he has done is go 9 innings combined against that team. No runs with 10 strikeouts and 5 walks. So quite capable. The ERA not quite where he wants it. Control's been a little bit of an issue for him with that blister problem, but he is quite capable of stacking some zeros.
Yeah, the walks can be there at times, and that's part of what Baltimore does. These are 2 of the top-tier 3 true outcome teams. A lot of walks, a lot of strikeouts, and home runs. Baltimore draws its share of free passes, bidding for its first 4-game win streak since September of last year. Craig Alvarez has the lone lefty as Gunnar Henderson. Adley Rutschman is the lone all-star. Taylor Ward works walks. Pete Alonso got aboard 5 times yesterday. Series debuts for Kobe Mayo and Tyler O'Neill. O'Neill sees a lot of action against lefties. Leody Taveras, Jeremiah Jackson with his first action, and Blaze Alexander. Lodolo delivers strike 1. Gunnar Henderson, rookie of the year in 23, a silver slugger that year, but Ben, his best year was in 24, has not quite been the same in a year and a half since. Sent to first, Spencer Steer stabs it, 1 down.
Yeah, Gunnar Henderson got out early this year. He had 6 home runs by April the 14th. He got in pull mode. They're trying to get him back to the center part of the field, because when he's at his best like he was in 2024, he is going gap to gap. And Craig Alvarez, a lot of people wanted Gunnar Henderson moved down in the lineup. Craig Alvarez 5 games ago decided to push Gunnar Henderson into that leadoff spot, and he has performed well there the last 5 or 6 games.
And now the O's all-star catcher for a 3rd time, Adley Rutschman. Couple of doubles, couple of ribbies yesterday. He has 3 2-baggers on the series. When this switch hitter is going right, what does he do?
He is using the center part of the field too as well. You know, and Gunnar got hurt a couple times, or not, I'm sorry, Adley got hurt a couple times last year. He really didn't have the year that he wanted to have. Had a bad second half back in 24 as well, but he seems to be back. And what the big thing about Rutschman is this year, he's performing on the offensive side of the ball, but he's having his best year yet catching and throwing out runners. He's throwing out 38% of the runners that he stolen bases way down against the Orioles because of Adley Rutschman. They kind of changed him up a little bit. Instead of the left knee being down, the right knee is down now, and it's paid off in a big way. But offensively, he's having a really solid year for the Orioles. He's a difference maker when he's in this lineup.
Out of his timeout, Lodolo. And that's one of the many parallels between these teams. These teams have so many similarities. The peak they each enjoyed just a couple of years ago, the promise of what was to come, and some inconsistency that has followed.
Yeah, and I think it's been the young core, you know, and some of the young core has backed up for both of these teams, you know, and they're looking to take a step forward.
You know, Rutschman sails this to center, TJ Friedl, and that's where Stevenson, Tyler Stevenson of the Reds, Adley Rutschman of the Orioles, contract years. You know, Rutschman getting pushed some by Samuel Basallo, whose power is obvious, his bat impactful.
Yeah, the Orioles have a pretty good 1-2 punch behind home plate. We talk about Samuel Basallo and Adley Rutschman. Rutschman will be a free agent at the end of next season.
And now Taylor Ward, a couple of hits and 7 at bats on the series, has worked a walk. He's been top 3 most of the last few months in walks and walk rate in the majors.
He started off, I mean, walking a lot. And it's a little bit different than the year that he had with the Angels last year. With the Angels last year, Taylor Ward, 36 homers, a little over 100 RBIs, and that's what makes Lodolo special, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to take that 4-seam fastball and shove it inside to the right-handed hitters. And when he's doing that and throwing strikes, it opens up for that breaking ball. 3-pitch mix, fastball, 2 and a 4-seamer, curveball, and a changeup as well. When you can take 95 and shove it inside, it just makes the off-speed stuff that much better because hitters have to cheat a little bit. It's a good arm Lodolo has. I mean, it's 95, 96 from the left side.
That is smack to left field. J.J. Bleday has to play it on a bounce. How does the arm angle and that funk that he delivers with impact things?
That's what's complex, a little bit complexing to me about Lodolo. He's left-handed with a low arm slot. You'd think he'd be really tough on left-handed hitters because where he's on. See, it's almost sidearm is where it's at, but yet lefties come in hitting 358 off Lodolo. But the key for him, like most pitchers, is fastball command. And you can see that base hit right there by Taylor Ward. It's supposed to be on the outside part of the plate. Instead, the fastball was right in the heart of the plate.
Backdoor miss to Pete Alonso, who had a slower start to his Orioles run, but has been highly productive for some time, including reaching 5 plate appearances yesterday.
Yeah, he had a really good day last night. 2 base on balls, 3 base hits. And it was a slow start for Pete Alonso. A lot of pressure, a big contract, going to a new team, which is not uncommon. It was a slow month of April, but boy, since then he has become Pete Alonso, and he's doing what he's typically done throughout his career. Up to 19 homers now, 60 RBIs.
8th time in his career. He's reached 5 times. He's gotten aboard 6 times twice. And he sails this ball to center. Edwin Arroyo did not see it cleanly from second. It goes all the way to Friedel in center field. Now Lodolo works around the 2-out hit. It'll be Kyle Bradish to the bump, taking on the Reds lineup when we're back. A 6-game slide at home. Ellie De La Cruz has been red hot, 345 in an 8-game hit streak. Sal Stewart at All-Star, J.J. Bleday. Eugenio Suarez, couple of knocks yesterday. Spencer Steer has been turning the corner some. Tyler Stevenson's been strong for a few weeks. Noelvi Marte has obvious power. TJ Friedel back after a tryst to AAA, and Edwin Arroyo, one of the young bucks called up this year. Kyle Bradish on the mound. Tommy John was had a little over 2 years ago. Command has been off and on at times.
Yeah, you know, he got off to an okay start in the month of April, a 4.20 ERA. He was really good in 6 starts in the month of May, a 2.80, which is more in line with Kyle Bradish. First 2 starts in the month of June weren't great, but boy, his last 3 have been really good. And his last 3 starts, ERA 1.67 in his last 3, so starting to find his way.
De La Cruz aboard 3 times yesterday, a couple of hits, a walk. He's been running more starting with this series. Yeah, Bradish.
That hamstring seems to be healthy from what we've seen from De La Cruz. 3 stolen bases in the first 2 games of this series, and he's a guy you got to keep off the base because when he gets on, the wheels start turning for the Reds.
Often that ignition, been the leadoff man more recently the last few weeks. Yeah, Bradish particularly shined with 2 road starts. We get ABS here, powered by T-Mobile. That is a strike. De La Cruz down on strikes, first K of the day for Bradish.
Well, that's what Bradish loves to do. It's high velocity fastball, and he takes that 2-seam fastball, and he can front door it to the left-hander. Started a little bit off the inside part of the plate. Watch how this ball just kind of runs back right at 97. You can't throw a fastball any better than that 0-2.
Now rookie Sal Stewart. Doubled, walked, scored twice yesterday. He's 1 for 8 on the series. He is having a spectacular year.
He really has. We talked about it in the open. I mean, he burst on the scene last year. Everybody said, well, it's just 55 at bats, but he hit 255 with 5 home runs. Well, he's kind of picked up right where he left off. Those are big time numbers for a 22-year-old.
Rolled left side. Gunnar Henderson on the backhand against the grain. Got him.
My goodness. Feels like Gunnar Henderson covers more ground than kudzu sometimes. He certainly has in this series, too. You won't see a better. And we got 2 of the best, I think, defending shortstops in this game right here. Gunnar Henderson to the backhand side. I mean, all the way across his body with some pace to it. Just a perfect throw to Pete Alonso over at first base. That is a big-time play.
Yeah, between the 2 shortstops, I feel like we've seen north of a half-dozen plays like that or better this series.
In this game, obviously De La Cruz 6'6", Gunnar Henderson a little over 6'4".
Great effort there by Jeremiah Jackson. Sprawling out to take that one away. A 1-2-3 first for Bradish.
Well, Gunnar Henderson, boy, I tell you what, he had an outstanding play, but a pretty good play by Jeremiah Jackson right here. We are scoreless through one.
Bill Marte, converted third baseman. On the infield, Stuart De La Cruz, the longtime shortstop. Edwin Arroyo, mostly a second baseman these days. Spencer Steer and Tyler Stevenson. Kobe Mayo sounded like he broke his bat maybe there. Nice grab in the stands. And yep, he needs new lumber.
It sounded like it snapped right off the end of the bat.
Now, we've already seen an ABS challenge in this game, Ben, and one of the game's best in both volume and percentage at ABS among the catchers is the Reds' primary backstop, Tyler Stevenson.
Boy, is he good. Not particularly a great framer, but boy, when you talk about ABS challenges, not many better than him.
And it's interesting, there was a piece in Sports Info Solutions about a month ago that looked at catchers who struggle to frame being among the best at ABS.
Interesting.
And I wonder, and I'll ask this of you, do you think that ABS can help counterweight or even surpass what framing numbers would say? If you're great at ABS but you don't frame well, is there some seesaw tilt line where you overcome that and you become a good receiver?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, you keep getting your challenges back if you get them right. Now, where it gets a little bit off is when you use up both your challenges by the middle part of the ball game, and then you can't challenge after that, and then framing becomes a big piece of the game. So I still think there's a big part to framing. I think that's very important for that reason, because you can't challenge every pitch. There's so many pitches they're just by a sliver or a strike or not. So framing is still a big part of it. But to be good at the ABS, and I've always thought catchers, even before we did this, because they have their nose behind the ball. If you listen to infield coaches talk about middle infielders and how to field ground balls, they want the nose behind the ball so you can see the ball really well. I think that's why catchers are so much better than everybody else, is because they got their nose behind the ball. They got a good understanding of the plate and where it's at.
Another bat blows up here on Mayo. Bit of a stumbled stride on this swing.
Hopefully Mayo brought enough bats. He's already gone through two already. He may be barring somebody's bat by the time this thing's over.
He's got one of the great nicknames, the Hammer, for his immense power at the plate, and it really spiked all the way back in his Little League days in South Florida.
Yeah, he's got some big-time pop. I mean, he can leave at any part of the ballpark. And, of course, he's in there today because of the left-handed pitcher in Lodolo. He hits 286 off left-handers. Now, still struggling against the right-handers, hitting 147 against right-handed hitting. But you can see 10 home runs in the sample size, so he's certainly got some pop.
Sal Stewart guards the line at third base. De La Cruz plays noticeably over. And he's perfectly positioned on the backhand. And they were pinching that 5-6 hole dramatically.
That's where Kobe Mayo hits the ball. He's a big-time pull hitter, especially against left-handed pitching. So no surprise to see that pinch over there in the middle part of the field.
Now, among the adds for Baltimore, Tyler O'Neill, who often is getting his action against lefties. How would you describe his year to this point?
He's been better on defense as of late. Like, he is moving a lot better. The key to Tyler O'Neill is keeping him on the field. On the IL 3 times for the Orioles last year, but on the IL once this year. He had a great spring training, looked good in spring training, just been a little bit of a slow start. And typically he wears out throughout his career. You go back and look at the numbers with Boston, he wears out left-handed pitching. It hadn't been that so far, although the at-bats have looked a lot better as of late.
Lodolo ahead 0-2, just the second time he's gone 0-2 so far. See the number of games missed down there. Some of that, of course, matchup. Has the nickname of Popeye. Incredible strength. A weightlifter. He has squatted almost 600 pounds. And his dad, Terry, Mr. Canada in 1975 as the best bodybuilder north of the border.
You kind of do what your dad does. That's what all young kids do. And of course, Tyler got into weightlifting and got into baseball, obviously.
today represents an interesting quandary, right? You talked about Lodolo's struggles against lefties. So there's a bit of a reverse split element working with him. In similar fashion, the Orioles have one lefty in their bullpen in Grant Wolfram, who also has reverse splits on his small sample of 2 years. At what point do the numbers matter, and does the arm side matter?
I think the numbers matter for Lodolo, because you even go back to last year and you look as well. He was a reverse splits guy last year as well. But again, it's odd for me because of his arm slot and the way he throws across his body. You would think he'd be a little bit tougher on left-handers than what he's been. Take a look at Sal Stewart right to the backhand side. And how about this throw here? That's a good lesson for all you youngsters. It's always better to be low than high with those kind of throws. You give your first baseman a chance, and that's a perfect, easy one hop over to Spencer Steer at first base.
Leody Taveras, 0 for 4, a walk and a run scored yesterday. The Wile E. Coyote, who is a cousin of Willie Taveras, outfielder for the Astros, Rockies, Nationals, and time with the Reds. Spent a decade in the league, early 2000s. Bit of a sticky Sunday afternoon, some clouds lingering overhead. At times a slight breeze, but it's been a fairly warm and humid weekend. A middle strike.
Right down the middle. Yeah, the Orioles picked up Leody Taveras mainly to be a fourth outfielder, a guy that can go play center field, but he's really become an everyday player for the Orioles. This is an Oriole offense averaging 4.6 runs per game, so kind of middle of the pack, 13th best in baseball.
Time granted. Now, part of what they've been excellent at on the year, and it's shown in the series, many of them scored yesterday, is working walks. To this point, Lodolo has not struck a man out. He has also not issued a walk.
Yeah, the Orioles have the 4th most strikeouts in the game, but the 5th most walks, because they kind of offset each other.
ABS was going to be called, but it was called strike 3. There's the first K of the day for Lodolo. A 1-2-3 second inning. Taveras, O'Neill in the outfield. Alexander Henderson, a stellar star at short. Jackson Alonso and Rutschman. Colton Cowser rates as the Orioles' best defensive outfielder. Has made a couple of nice plays this series, but he's among the lefties sitting because of Nick Lodolo.
Yeah, and Leody Taveras can play center field. Maybe not quite as good as Cowser can play, but he's in there because of his bat being a switch hitter. But this Oriole defense has struggled this year. There's no doubt about that. 55 unearned runs by this defense this year, which is the 2nd most in baseball, only one behind the Pittsburgh Pirates. But if you look at the last 4 games, the Orioles have been clean on defense each of the last 4 games. And that's a key for the Orioles trying to make this turnaround, is being a little bit cleaner on defense, and they've been that as of late.
A slight hiccup to the start as home plate man Brian O'Nora comes back out. Taveras made a very nice throw in right field. Got J.J. Bleday trying to stretch a single to a double yesterday. Eugenio Suarez leads off his first multi-hit game in about a week last night. Drove in 2. He's 2 for 8 with a walk on the series. He was the big power ad for the Reds in the offseason, reuniting with the Reds team he had been with earlier in his career. He's among the elite power producing hitters in the game the last half decade or so.
Yeah, I mean, he's hit, what, 49 home runs in his career 2 different times.
At this point last year, he had double the total that he does right now. He has had some time on the IL this year as well.
Yeah, I saw a stat on him. I mean, 10 or more home runs at the All-Star break, 9 consecutive years is what he has done. Of course, he's sitting at 8 right now, and I did spend some time on the IL.
Did he go? Yes.
Kyle Bradish has some elite spin rates when you talk about the 2 breaking balls he has. 2 and a 4-seam fastball, and then, of course, he's got the slider. 35% swing and miss on that, and 43% swing and miss on that curveball of his. And that's kind of his game. He loves to shove the fastball inside and get to that right there, get those breaking balls once he speeds the bat up. So both the pitchers pretty sharp early in this game so far. Take a look at this breaking ball. Messiah around the outside part of the plate. Just a little bit of a slider working down and away, and a check swing by Suarez. Second strikeout of the day for Kyle Bradish, and 4 batters faced.
And he's thrown just 10 pitches, 9 strikes.
He's been efficient. He does struggle with command from time to time. His last time out, he had 5 walks, which tied a season high for him. But it's elite stuff. I mean, that two-seam fastball, high velocity with a lot of movement to it. It's a young man back in 2023, finished 4th in the Cy Young voting in the American League to kind of show you what he can do. Won 12 games that year with a 283. And then, of course, you mentioned the Tommy John and the elbow issues, had the PRP injection, tried to fight through it. It didn't work, and eventually had to have Tommy John surgery. So in 24 and 25, he only made a total of 14 starts coming back from that injury. So the Orioles are going to have to watch his pitches and his innings pitched this year.
What's your feel for there is no data yet on a firm threshold, right? It's more watching the action of the pitch, maybe not even velocity, more command.
I think you got to have the open door communication on how you're feeling out there. And obviously when the Orioles get a chance with the off days, they're going to skip him in the rotation whenever they can and push him back a day every now and then just to keep the pitch count down a little bit. But I think you keep an eye on the velocity, you keep an eye on the command, and the communication lines have to stay open. As far as the number of innings, it's hard to say. Everybody feels a little bit different on that, but it feels like somewhere in that 135, 140 range, coming back from Tommy John surgery feels about right. And the Orioles could go to a 6-man rotation maybe after the All-Star break. Obviously with the All-Star break and an off day again tomorrow, no need to do that right now. But it feels like the Orioles could go to a 6-man rotation just to save a few starts for Kyle Bradish. But if you're in the wild card hunt and trying to get there, that's a tough decision to make because obviously when he's right, he's the best guy you have. Now, Trevor Rogers has really come on, the big left-hander as well. Orioles recently got Dean Kramer back, which should solidify that rotation a little bit more. And the rotation's been good for the Orioles as of late, man. You go back in the last, say, 5 weeks, and this is a top 5 rotation in baseball, so it feels like the defense is starting to clean up. The starting pitching, they're pretty happy where it's at right now. Just a matter of getting that offense to be a little bit more consistent. And they were consistent yesterday. I mean, 8 runs on the scoreboard yesterday. They scored 11 runs in this series so far.
Tyler Stevenson worked a walk on Friday, was 0 for 3. Bouncer up the middle. Stabbed on a big skip by Jackson, who bounces it to first on time. Couple of perfect innings for Kyle Bradish. Ground balls galore and a couple of Ks.
Bourgeois played parts of 8 major league seasons, 6 different teams. He established his name in the game. Or did he? His name Bourgeois has often been mispronounced over the years as a player. He told me he's heard Borgish, Borgois, Borgios, amongst many. And to add insult to injury, in 2015, when he was playing for the Reds in New York, he was inserted into the game, and maybe they just bagged trying to spell it that day because they put up his number 30, but on the board he was unknown, and then they finally got it right. He became Mr. Unknown that day with his teammates, and boy did he wear it. But he takes it in stride. He tells me he's just happy to be in the big leagues no matter the position. You can call me what you want.
I like that. From parts unknown. That almost sounds like a Louisiana name to me. We got Bourgeois, Boudreaux, Thibodeau, Guidry, Landry. But Bourgeois is definitely a Louisiana name.
I like how you went with the pro wrestling introduction there. Jeremiah Jackson just got brought back up on Friday. Sal Stewart backs up at third. A miss wide by Lodolo. Took him a couple of organizations to find a home. A higher pick by the Angels, traded to the Mets, joined Baltimore on a minor league deal, and then tasted the bigs last year.
And he performed well for the Orioles at the big league level last year. Offensively, he was really good. Now, he struggled to find a spot defensively. The Orioles tried him out in the outfield. He was okay out there. Tried him over at third base. Just kind of okay there. But he's kind of found a home at second base. Of course, Jackson Holliday broke his hamate bone in spring training. So Jeremiah Jackson had a load out at second base early in the year and really got off to a good start. Now struggled a little bit, was sent down, and now back in the big leagues again.
Looking.
That's a big time pitch, and that's a tough one too. Because you see it out of the hand, it's a ball. It's a backdoor breaking ball. So as a right-handed hitter, you see it come out of the hand, and you think just for a second it's a ball. Watch when this ball starts way off the outside edge, and he just brings it right back and nips the outside part of the plate. And if you're standing there at the right side, that is a hard pitch to swing because you kind of give up on it, and then it just catches the outside part.
And that's historic for Nick Lodolo, his 500th career strikeout.
But that back-to-back strikeouts for him, too. Both these pitchers seem to be spot on early.
And he seemingly has been trying to command that arm side away to this overwhelmingly right-handed lineup. With a double the strike to ball number.
And again, that's the key right there. Keep pumping that fastball to the inside part, speeding those bats up to get to the off-speed stuff.
Blaze Alexander having a career year, hitting .302, had a stellar June in terms of contact.
Yeah, he really picked it up for the Orioles in the last 5 weeks, man. He has been outstanding. And another base hit.
De La Cruz tried to time the dive to catch it on its descent. Caught in between, a base knock for Blaze Alexander.
Blaze Alexander has already played more games for the Orioles this year than what he did the entire season last year for the Diamondbacks. Got plugged in a regular spot. Ball was hit just a little bit off the end of the bat and just out of the reach of Ellie De La Cruz. And if he can't get to it with the wingspan he has, nobody's getting to it.
Now, the only lefty in the order today, Gunnar Henderson, grounded out to first base his first time. Lifted to Arroyo, flipped to first late. Alexander gets back, 2 down.
Got to be a good base runner. Line drive, freeze, pick it up, and quickly get back to the bag. That's why it's always so important when you're on first base or second base is to kind of look around before the pitch goes to home plate to kind of see where the infielders are positioned, and then you can get a good jump. Obviously, with 2 out, it doesn't matter. You're off and moving on contact. But less than 2 out, you want to know where everybody's positioned before the ball goes to home plate.
Ball 1 to Adley Rutschman, who has flied out and shares some things in common with you, Ben. You know, Rutschman's skills go beyond catching and hitting. He threw 97 as a pitcher at high school. He was a kicker, still owns the state of Oregon record, a 63-yard field goal, breaks his bat here. Once tackled Christian McCaffrey open field on kick coverage.
Big time athlete.
Now, you were a hooper
at
LSU and also an excellent special teams punter in your day.
Yeah, I did a little bit of everything in high school. And I always tell kids, man, play as many sports as you can. You know, play as many as you can and figure out which one you want to be best at. And I think one sport, football taught me toughness. Obviously, basketball helped with agility, and it helped with baseball as well. And so I always tell kids when I talk to kids, man, play all of them. Don't specialize at a young age. Play all of them, enjoy them. One of them can help you on the other end as well. And so eventually one will win out over the other. But Adley Rutschman is a heck of an athlete. He proved it in high school.
Yeah, we talked some before the game, and Nick Lodolo is a longer limbed, taller pitcher, right at that tweener threshold where the mechanics can get wonky for some. You're obviously a taller, longer guy, and you think some of the movement in hoops helped you?
Definitely with my agility and my footwork. I mean, if you're a fast grower, and I was a fast grower, I was always a head taller than everybody in my grade. And so basketball taught me some agility, helped me with my coordination in a lot of ways. And I also loved it to get your legs in shape. It helps out on the pitching side of things as well.
Up the middle, leaks through to center. Alexander up to second, 2 on.
Another ball just kind of hit right off the end of the bat, it looked like, but hit in the perfect spot by Adley Rutschman, kind of right back from whence it came. It just snuck through the infield. Orioles have been really good in these situations as of late. Kind of middle of the pack overall, hitting with runners in scoring position, but the last 14 games, the Orioles are hitting .317 with runners in scoring position, something they really wanted to improve on. Orioles were 5 for 12 in Game 2 of this series, runners in scoring position, only 1 for 4 in Game 1.
Error aided things in Game 1 and a homer. Taylor Ward was a home run machine for most of his last 4 years with the Angels. His best year came last year. 31 doubles, 36 homers, his only 100 RBI year, not having nearly that same power so far.
Yeah, he's walking a lot more this year, still getting on base at a very high clip. You touched on that, but I feel like pitchers are pitching him a little differently. You go back to last year, and they pitched him a lot middle to the inside part of the plate. He hit a lot of home runs in Anaheim, 96 or 36 home runs. But this year, if you'll look, they're throwing him a lot of off-speed stuff on the outside part of the plate, so he doesn't really have that kind of pop to leave to the opposite side of the field. So they're pitching him a little bit differently this year than what they did last year.
This one is popped right side. Stevenson gives a look. And that could be one wrinkle today, right? Because Great American Ballpark, I think it's a misnomer about it being a hitter's paradise. The truth is it's a home run paradise, particularly with balls to right center. That's where those first few rows play a little short.
Yeah, if I saw the numbers right, I mean, it yields the second most home runs in baseball this ballpark does, you know. But we've not seen a lot of home runs. Reds have not hit a homer in this 3-game series. The Orioles have only hit a couple of home runs.
Yeah, Basayo had both of them. He's among the bench bats today for Craig Albernaz. It is an all left-handed bench for Baltimore. That could be a factor when the bullpen comes in. Living away, 3-2.
That's kind of the scout report right now, because if you look at the heat map on Taylor Ward, he covers the ball on the inside part of the plate at all 3 levels, down and in, kind of middle in, and then up and in. He has had a lot of success this year. So the scout report is stay away, and stay away with soft stuff as well.
First 3-ball count for Lodolo. The sun is cracking through the clouds, and you can feel a greater intensity in the heat.
Boy, Friday Game 1, it was hot here in Cincinnati. I mean hot. Felt like I never left Baton Rouge.
In the air, center field, T.J. Friedel glides to the gap, has it on the track. Little bayou by the Ohio. Nick Lodolo works around a couple of hits, gets his 500th career strikeout. Minions and Monsters is the genius and totally true story about 2 minions who set out to make a movie and unwittingly unleash monsters onto the world. See Minions and Monsters only in theaters now. Banana. You a fan of the Minions?
I know what the menus are. I'm not going to say I'm going to see this movie. I did see Monsters, Inc., though. I thought Monsters, Inc. was really good.
Little animated fun here on a sweaty, star-spangled Sunday. Bottom third due up for the Reds here, starting with Noelvi Marte. Now, Kyle Bradish, you mentioned the walk issues, his start a week ago against Washington. He talked about his struggle with command after that game, a miss up and in, saying that he just could not find the zone that day. Called it a bad day, didn't really swing and miss at anything, didn't chase out of the zone. I wasn't in the zone. He entered this inning 13 of 17 pitches, strikes, perfect so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's the deal with him, too, is attack the strike zone. And if you talk to the Oriole pitching staff, they will tell you that he has elite stuff, and they're just trying to get him just to attack over the white part of the plate. We talked about the movement on the fastball. It's with a lot of movement, with a lot of velocity, and 2 wipeout type breaking balls. What's odd is he walked 5 his last time out, but the 2 previous start a total of 3 walks too. That's what's different for pitchers, right? Every day is different. We look at these numbers and we go, well, this is what he does. But the truth is, I always tell people, a third of the time I went out there, I had my A game. I was expected to win. I was expected to go deep in the ball game. That's when things were easy. A third of the time you go out, then you just got kind of okay stuff, and you got to kind of navigate a little bit. And then a third of the time you don't have anything, but it's still your job to be able to go out there and compete and keep your team in it. And that was kind of what Kyle Bradish had his last time out. When he has his A game, like, it's easy for him. He just attacks, kind of like him and Lodolo are doing today. But every day is a little bit different, and you got to be able to figure it out.
Marte had an infield hit on Friday. Seemed to go. No appeal needed. Strike 3. Third strikeout for Bradish.
He is getting the chases today, man, and he's pounding that two-seam fastball down. He starts his breaking ball right in that same window. It looks like a fastball that's going to be down again, but instead it's the breaking ball, and he spins that good curveball and a nice block by Basayo to kill it right there in front of home plate. I'm sorry, Adley Rutschman. That's not Basayo. Basayo's a little bit bigger than that.
He'd been there last couple of days. T.J. Friedel. Ribby triple, run scored yesterday. He had been the Reds' incumbent and highly productive leadoff man. He was among the best last year in walking, getting on base, wreaking a little bit of havoc. He's also an excellent bunter for both the hit and also for sacrifices. Ground ball to Pete Alonso, but had struggled this year, and a couple of injuries brought him back up from AAA as Blake Dunn and Dane Myers each went down with respective injuries.
Yeah, the Reds are hoping to get this offense going a little bit. I saw in the month of June they only scored 99 runs, which was the third fewest runs scored in Major League Baseball. And so trying to get this offense going, this offense averaging 4.2 runs per game, 20th out of 30 teams. What the Reds do best, they hit the ball out of the ballpark, and they can certainly do that. 106 home runs, which is 13th best.
And rookie Edwin Arroyo had double-digit dingers in the minors this year, but has yet to hit a major league home run. He does have that power.
I feel like just looking at the Reds, their missing part is their runners in scoring position. You know this. I mean, last year they were so good, top 10 in baseball, hit with runners in scoring position. This year they're dead last, and that's such an important stat for me for the offense. Is how do you perform in those big moments when you get those moments with runners in scoring position? Can you come up with the big base hits? And it's kind of eluded the Reds so far this year.
0-2. And that's the other oddity, because they struggled at times to get the big home run. And this year the home runs have spiked, but the performance in scoring position has dipped. And there's a rhythm to so much of baseball, including team offense in that regard. Being
able to move runners, you get a leadoff double, find a way to move that runner over to third base, get him there with less than 2 outs, be able to drive him in with a sac fly or just get him home, period.
Chop to Jackson. Man, it is ground balls in bunches for Kyle Bradish.
Enjoyable holiday weekend in the Queen City for Pete Alonso. He was actually looking forward to coming back here on July 4th. He said, quote, last night, to be honest, the Cincinnati Reds probably put on the best firework display in the big league, so that helps a lot. It's really cool. Obviously, 250th for America. It was back in 2022. He said he was here and they put on a spectacular show then. His parents are from Ohio, and he says, I know that they take fireworks really seriously here in the Buckeye State, so we're in for a treat. He got that treat last night. Also a drone show last night.
Man, that was unbelievable last night. It felt like the fireworks went off for a solid hour is what it felt like.
Alonso has flied to center so far today. He's got the shades on. He has remarked from his prior visits as well, familiar with this park, his time with the Mets, they would come annually, that the batter's eye was a tough one at times to adjust to. A little bit of glare, hard to see the ball at times.
You can kind of see it out in center field right now. It's got a little bit of a glare on it. And especially in the afternoons, I felt like the first and second inning of the night games, both Friday and Saturday, there was a big glare, and the hitters would talk about, hey, have trouble, because obviously hitters hit off a spin. They like to see the spin of a baseball. That's how they can detail in an instant what pitch it is, and it's hard with that glare on that batter's eye to be able to pick up the ball.
Now, Alonso's been so productive, particularly of late. There was a thought among some, could he possibly be an all-star? And that could still come because, things happen to the roster. He's a 5-time All-Star himself, but he said of his own candidacy, I'm just calling a spade a spade. There's a bunch of other more deserving first basemen. And Lodolo gets the swing and miss, his third strikeout, his first swinging.
This is that breaking ball we talk about from Nick Lodolo, now 28 years old. Just a sweeper kind of, call it a breaking ball, but it almost has sweeper action. It's got a lot of horizontal in it. Kind of reminds me of Chris Sale a little bit, kind of low arm slot, sweeping that breaking ball across the zone.
Swing and miss. Mayo is grounded out to short. Hard ground ball, good backhand by Stewart. Longer throw, got him.
Boys are playing some defense today on both sides of the ball. Two pitchers that are working fast on a lot of strikes. That not only keeps your defense engaged. Sal Stewart right to the backhand side, plants that right foot, points the shoulder, and just a boring throw over to first base.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Chris Sale as Tyler O'Neill stands in. He is grounded out. A man who certainly is well known within the Orioles community, Buck Showalter, when he was managing the Mets, Lodolo's rookie year 2022. Part of the buzz around rookie Lodolo was Showalter comparing Lodolo, fellow TCU guy, saw him pitch a lot in college, to a, quote, very successful left-handed pitcher. He never named him, but many supposed he was talking about Chris Sale. Ground ball out, a lightning-quick 1-2-3 inning for the southpaw. Now, Senor Electricidad, the electric Ellie De La Cruz, top of the order for the Reds. Ultimate goal of an MLB fan, seeing it all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile, the ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Yes, all 30. MLB.com/journey to 30 sweeps. Ellie De La Cruz, swing and miss. He began the game with a backward K, went down looking against Kyle Bradish on an ABS appeal.
Good fastball, front door fastball, just down and in, locked him up on an 0-2 count. Kyle Bradish started with a breaking ball for strike one.
And we were talking some during break. Bradish does a brilliant job of establishing and taking advantage of the lower threshold of the strike zone.
Yeah, he throws that hard two-seam fastball, and it's a pitch he picked up about 2.5 years ago. He was all a four-seam guy with a couple of breaking balls when he first got and was traded over to the Orioles, but he incorporated the two-seam fastball, and it's really changed the game for him.
Rolled slowly to second base. It's already 7 ground ball outs. The season high is 10.
When he's right, that's what he's doing. Fastball is down. He's creating ground balls. He's throwing the breaking balls behind him. Because both these pitchers just a 3-pitch mix. Normally you see pitchers in today's game 4, 5, some 6 pitches, but both these guys 3-pitch mix, 2 and a 4-seam fastball and a couple of breaking balls. Of course, Lodolo's got a changeup. Kyle Bradish does not throw a changeup.
Do you think he would need one? Would that help him?
He had one a couple years ago, but he had trouble slowing it down. It was a hard changeup, and he threw it around 90, 91 miles an hour, and it felt like it was too close to the fastball velocity, and the hitters could run into it. And they kind of simplified things, said, hey, let's incorporate a two-seam fastball. Let's drop the changeup for now, and we'll work off you 2 different breaking balls. And it's worked for Kyle Bradish.
Ahead on Sal Stewart. Grounded out. Nice play by Gunnar Henderson first inning. I feel like lately 2 pitches that have everything's cyclical, right? Like you're not inventing anything truly new. You're repeating something that was in vogue years ago. 0-1 is cracked hard, but right at Jeremiah Jackson. Bit of an offline throw. Alonso a good stretch. We're seeing the kick change in recent years.
Yes.
And we're seeing the split and modifications to the split. Brandon Young, of course, changed his grip to that of Nathan Eovaldi's and modified his split in season.
Yeah, everybody's trying to figure out something, and everybody tries to pick up a different pitch. And the kick change became vogue a couple years ago. And it's for guys that couldn't pronate, couldn't turn the ball over and throw a circle change. So they just grab it a little bit differently and throw it like a fastball. But the kick change has a profile of more of a split finger fastball. It doesn't have a lot of horizontal. It's got more drop to it. And so it's a kind of a newer pitch, like the sweeper was a new pitch 4 or 5 years ago. So our pitchers are always trying to stay just one step in front of the hitters.
Leday saw 1 pitch his first time. That was a nice play by Jackson. He shoots this ball deep down the right field side, but foul. He is a pull power man. If you make a mistake, especially in middle in, he can crush it.
He's typical left-handers, and most lefties like the ball a little bit down, a little bit in. And that's kind of their happy zone right there. This is just a hanging breaking ball that kind of sits up in the heart of the plate. Just a shade out in front of that one.
0-2. Driven hard to center. Later break and on a slide. Taveras takes it away. Kyle Bradish has been brilliant. 4 perfect innings with 3 strikeouts.
There's Taveras, man. He can play some center field now. Took 1 step back, but that closing speed picks it right off the grass. We are still scoreless here in Cincinnati.
Fourth of July weekend. One of the more patriotic shirts we have in the house here today. Square to bunt, yanked back as the corner crashed late from third. Leody Taveras has struck out looking so far today. Nick Lodolo twirling a 3-hitter, all singles, 2 with 2 outs. Bunt stab goes foul. The Reds have lost 6 of 7, 11 of 16 overall. They have dropped 6 straight at home. Run scoring has been an issue in that time. While the Orioles are bidding for their first 4-game win streak of the year. Baltimore and San Francisco entered the day as the only 2 clubs yet to win 4 in a row this year.
Yeah, this will be the Orioles' 7th try to win 4 in a row.
What's been elusive about establishing a longer stretch of wins?
Consistency. And I know people talk about that a lot, but that's kind of been the Orioles story, is not being very consistent overall. And when I talk about consistency, I mean the offense. The defense has let them down in probably 4 or 5 games. Defense have cost them losses as well. And then the offense just hasn't been what they thought it was going to be as of yet. Pretty close play over there at first base, but just by a little bit.
Nice throw there by Arroyo, a natural shortstop.
It's not been just one thing for the Orioles. It's been all 3 phases of the game that's needing to improve, and lately it has.
Early July, it feels like, going into and out of the break. It's part of that bridge time to either affirm, to realize if you got it or you don't. To what extent should you try to make a run?
I think for both of these teams going into the All-Star break trying to get some momentum here, especially for the Orioles, who came in game 1 of this series 5 games out of the final wild card spot, but back-to-back wins. Now they're just 3.5 out.
Bounce right back to Lodolo. Look what he found.
And Mike Elias, president of baseball operations for the Orioles, said a couple of weeks ago he wants to be buyers at the trade deadline. That's his idea, but the Orioles, it's up to the players to go out and perform and get him in a situation where he feels comfortable being buyers at the trade deadline. What does that look like? I mean, you would think if you get to the All-Star break a couple of games out and you get the trade deadline right around a couple of games out, it feels like you would be buyers at the trade deadline. Because the American League's been real funny this year. It's been a very weird year in the American League. Nobody's really taken the bull by the horns and run with it other than the Tampa Bay Rays. They have been outstanding.
Hard hit by Blaze Alexander. He's now 2 for 2.
Blaze Alexander just keeps on hitting, man. You touched on it earlier. Last 5 weeks, man, he's been the best Oriole when it comes to hitting.
So we have a pitcher's duel here in progress. A lot of ground balls. Minimal opportunities to score. At what point do you try to move the needle a little bit? Alexander, not a robust base stealer, but does have 9, caught 3 times. And with him batting 9th today, he's flip-flopped 8 and 9 during the series.
Yep.
The leadoff man's at the plate, so if he's out, you have your leadoff man leading off.
And Lodolo does a pretty good job. He's got a really good pickoff move. Obviously a college kid, a first rounder out of TCU. He knows how to control the running game.
Henderson has grounded out to first. He is softly lined to second. Lodolo's career caught stealing rate just under 30%. That's well above big league average, which is around 22 to 23%.
We've touched on it a couple times. Lodoto's a big kid, and if you can guess right, and typically, obviously, when you still on a left-handed pitcher, you're going on first movement, and he's 6'6". It takes him a little time to unwind and get that ball to home plate. So if you can guess right, you can try to take an extra 90 on him, but you got to guess right.
And you mentioned pickoffs. He does have a half dozen of those on his career, and last year was his best. Half of his career pickoffs came in the 2025 season. He's already had one disengagement this at bat. Stevenson away. Sailed to Stewart. Pitching is pure on this star-spangled Sunday.
Has certainly been on point today for the Orioles. 5 walks his last time out, but he's not done that today. He's used that two-seam fastball around the inside part of the plate to speed the bats up, and then he started getting to his breaking ball too. He's kept the ball on the ground. There's one of those good sliders kind of down and away as he gets Suarez. Another ground ball right there, Jeremiah Jackson. So 12 up for Kyle Bradish and 12 down through 4 innings so far.
Just one 2-ball count. He went 2-0 on Tyler Stevenson in the second. Our StatCast presented by Google Cloud, what he's done today.
Yeah, you see how he's collected his 12 outs. 5 on that sinking fastball, 3 on the 4-seamer, then 2 on the curveball, 2 on the slider. 3 strikeouts to go with it, and he's been very efficient, too, through 4 innings.
Faces Eugenio Suarez, whose power often sparks when the calendar flips to July. He has struck out so far today. Lifetime, his slug, April through June, is in the 430s. July through September is 484.
That's big time numbers there in the second half.
Alonso took a half step in. Now Bradish, it's the second time that he's been perfect through 4 innings in the big leagues. The first time came at his first year in the majors. He had 2 awesome starts late that year against Houston. The latter came at home. He was perfect through 5 2/3. He went a still career high 8 2/3 scoreless innings that day.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when he's on, he's as good as anybody.
And here's the first 3-ball count. Walks are an issue on his year, his career, and heightened to leadoff men.
He came in with 47 walks and 93 innings pitched, which is a career high for him walk rate. But I'm going to tell you, coming off of Tommy John, and we talked about this before the game, everybody's a little bit different coming off of Tommy John. Some guys, they feel fine. The velo, the ball just doesn't come out of the hand. Other guys feel great, but yet the command that they have is not quite there. And this is really Kyle Bradish. He only had 6 starts coming back from Tommy John last year, so he sprayed it a little bit this year.
And there is a walk. The perfecto is gone. First red to reach. Eugenio Suarez on 5 pitches. Entering today, only 2 men in the majors had issued more total walks than Bradish. Spencer Steer has grounded out so far today. He's had a knack for big knocks. Contact has been down dramatically his last few weeks. Squared a bunt, foul. But he has had a strong series. He entered 2 for 6, couple of walks. We've seen when he does produce power this year, 13 home runs as it stands. A lot of it has been pulled. He's progressively become more and more of a pull hitter as his career has gone on. Alexander backs up at third. Tried to check. Man, there's a lot of deception there.
A lot of swords up. There's another good breaking ball down in the zone.
Part of it is the spin.
I think it's a spin. If you look at Kyle Bradish's spin rate, he spins his slider 2,600 plus RPMs. Big league average slider spins about 2,400. Well, what does that mean to you at home? That means the ball is spinning so tight that it almost looks like the 4-seam fastball or that 2-seam fastball because it spins so tight. So it's deceiving to the hitter. But it's all about the window that he starts that breaking ball and where he sets it up with the fastball behind it. And again, he likes to be down at the knees and throw the breaking ball out of the same window.
1-2. Down the right field line. foul to the seats. There's been such rhythm to Bradish today. It's almost come across like he's pitched with ease. This feels like the first pause, hold your breath segment of the game for Bradish.
Yeah, you only get so many opportunities against a good starting pitcher when he's on his game to make a little bit noise. He's done a really good job of keeping the leadoff batter of every inning on, but in this inning, the bottom of the 5th inning, Suarez is on first for the leadoff walk.
Two and two on Steer. Smothered by Rutschman. So from 0-2 to 3-2.
Big pitch right here for Kyle Bradish.
What are you thinking here?
He's probably going to go back to a breaking ball, but he's looking to create a ground ball if he can't get the swing and miss he's looking for. Ground ball gives you a chance at turn 2.
Runner goes.
He did. Went with a little slider down and away.
And perhaps thinking exactly that about the ground ball implication. Suarez is slower runner. The Reds of late have been doing not hit and run. Terry Francona will flip that and say they do sometimes run and hit.
Just trying to stay out of the. I mean, Kyle Bradish, you mentioned it, has created so many ground balls today, just trying to stay out of the double play by getting a head start on a 3-2 count.
Suarez goes again. Steer lifts pretty deep right field. O'Neill fading back, deep track, gone. 14th of the year for Steer. Bradish loses the perfecto, the no-no, and the shutout in one fell swoop. It's 2-0 Cincinnati.
Boy, you talk about a beautiful swing by Spencer Steer right there. His 14th long ball, his 36th RBI of the season, and the Reds strike first in this one. Fought off some really tough pitches. This was a good at bat. He gets a breaking ball, but see what that breaking ball is? It's elevated and kind of out over the plate. The hands go first, the barrel follows it, and this is some power to the backside of the field right here, folks.
How does Bradish rebound? Tyler Stevenson grounded out to second his first time. And that seemingly has been a conscious approach. Hitting coach Chris Valleca and the Reds working on up the middle opposite way as the team has had its ruts, particularly with men in scoring position. And then the pull side power could come, but try to get right in that more traditional of fashions.
Yeah, I think that needs to be the approach really for a lot of hitters, is to be able to use gap to gap.
Catcher's challenge in the ball.
ABS challenge here, already a victory for Rutschman today. That was on the game's first hitter, and that's another strike. And Tyler Stevenson is a natural opposite way hitter. He certainly has plenty of power. He can pull the ball, but his natural swing most of his career goes to right center. ABS again. He did tap his helmet immediately. And that is a strike.
Yeah, I'm not sure Brian O'Neill, home plate umpire, saw Adley Rutschman tap his helmet right away.
I agree. It was somewhat understated, but he did.
Little front door breaking ball, starts it on the inside edge and works it perfectly just on the edge. There's a quick tap by Adley Rutschman. Right on Orr never saw it, and Adley Rutschman then verbally wanted to challenge.
In the dirt. So that makes Rutschman what? He's 3 for 3 today.
Yeah.
So he's now 18 of 27. He's up to 67% of the year. He doesn't do it a lot compared to his peers, but he is successful at a fairly high rate. And I wonder how much of that comes back to, you talked about how he has stood out receiving this year. If he's framing well, there's probably less need to use it that often.
Right. No, he's been really good this year. It's been a career year behind home plate. Anytime you throw out 38% of your base runners, that's well above average. And the framing's been good too.
Up the middle with eyes. Bounces past Gunnar Henderson. 3 straight 3-ball counts, 3 straight base runners.
And after retiring 12 consecutive, 3 consecutive Reds have reached a walk by Suarez, 2-run shot by Steer, and the bouncing ball just gets right through the infield in between Gunnar Henderson and Jeremiah Jackson.
So Rutschman now out for a chat. Now the Orioles had a day off before this series on Thursday, and you don't see this very often, especially at this stage of the year. Another off day to come tomorrow.
Yeah, so plenty of guys in the bullpen should be available with the off day tomorrow. And this Oriole bullpen has been good as of late. Their last 3 games, they've only allowed 1 run, 11 innings of work out of this bullpen.
Now they did lose closer Ryan Helsley in recent days to the IL.
Yeah, Tyler Wells has kind of jumped in that closing role for the Orioles. Back-to-back saves for him in the first 2 games of this series. Back-to-back saves for the first time in his career, too, because he did sit at the back end of the bullpen some years ago when he came up to the big leagues with the Orioles.
Noelvi Marte struck out on check swing, no appeal, called at the plate. Right side fairly open here. Jackson shades up the middle. Now Marte on his first go in the bigs this year, chase rate was very high. He was among the leaders in baseball swinging at pitches out of the zone. He also was top tier in terms of number of pitches that were true balls that were not in the strike zone. But part of his task at AAA was stay more balanced, level, even, focusing on that front foot and where it goes as he gets into his stance and into his swing, helping him to see the ball better. Basically, don't swing at balls.
But he's just 24 years old, you know, and so he's still got some learning to do at the big league level. Whew.
Check swing floats to Alonso, able to reach out and snag the first out.
Just a little bit of a half swing on the breaking ball, and Pete Alonso goes up the ladder and just kind of reels this one in. That ball's hit about a foot higher. All of a sudden, you got a second and third situation.
TJ Friedel grounded out his first time. Alexander cheats in at third.
I like to watch Adley Rutschman behind home plate. In a time where catchers are dropping the glove early and working from the ground up because it steals a few more strikes, he leaves that target there a little bit longer than most guys do. Because as a pitcher, I want to know where you want the ball. See, the target's there a long time, and he just drops it right at the last second.
Broken bat flare, Jackson.
Watch Adley Rutschman. Long target, and see how he stole that one. That ball's 2 or 3 inches below the bottom of the zone. But that's the idea of dropping the glove, right? You work from the ground up, and you can steal a few more strikes. But the idea for Adley Rutschman, he knows pitchers want a target. And most pitchers, if you ask them, I want to know what you're throwing to. The guys that drop the glove early, as a pitcher, what am I throwing to? Like, I don't see anything. Am I trying to pick up a kneecap? Am I looking at your face mask? What am I looking for?
Off the knob of Arroyo's bat. Arroyo is grounded out to second base. And catching at such a premium, and that's where it'll be a tough decision for Baltimore with another outstanding young talent, excellent power hitting skills. What do they do with Rutschman? Just the third Oriole catcher to be an All-Star 3 times, the first since Matt Wieters, who was a highly heralded prospect when he arrived. Also a switch hitter who had huge power in the minors and was a very good performer in the major leagues. To short, Henderson Well, the first runs had by the Reds.
Yeah, Spencer Steer gets him a hanging breaking ball in a 3-2 count. And he knew exactly what to do with that one, boy. Let the hands go, the barrel behind it. He powers it out to right center field. His 14th long ball of the year. And the Reds have struck first in this one, up 2-0.
You're watching Star Spangled Sunday on Peacock, presented by Ford. Stars and stripes abound. Happy 4th of July weekend to you and yours. So delighted you're with us. Every game on Peacock today or NBC throughout the league, including the Reds and Orioles. Some sunshade from an umbrella. That third base side could wear it a bit during the day. Nick Lodolo, you mentioned earlier, Ben, back-to-back scoreless outings against the Brewers in the catbird seat in the Reds National League Central. He has not yielded a run yet today. It's now 14 straight scoreless innings, one off his career high that was set right around this time last year, including his lone 9-inning shutout delivery.
I mean, he has attacked from the very first pitch. That's 70 pitches now, 50 of which have been strikes. And what he's done best, John, is he's collected the leadoff batter of every inning so far. And for me, that's the most important one for starting pitcher. You get the first out of every inning, the first batter that steps in the box. If you can retire him, the chance of the other team scoring goes way down from there. He is 5 for 5 today as Lodolo retiring the first batter.
Rutschman sails this one to center. TJ Friedl. Well, he has had blister issues in the past, and Jim Day today is probably the biggest test of a possible recurrence.
Yeah, he's been asked all season long, how's the blister, if you haven't had any recurrence, and he always puts it off and says, let's wait till it gets super hot. When he's had blister issues, it's been extreme hot days, like the end of spring training this season in Arizona. He said today would be his first real test in that regard. I've been watching him closely in the dugout. He has shown no ill effects at all of a blister.
Taylor Ward is singled. He is flied out. 4 hits. Lodolo's allowed all singles. This one driven to left center. Hops to the wall. And the first extra base hit by Baltimore, a standing double by Ward.
Good day for Taylor Ward so far. A 2 for 3 days. Singled in his first at bat. Flew out in his second at bat, and boy, he finds and catches up with a fastball right here, right in the heart of the plate. Does a nice job of pulling those hands in and getting the barrel to it. A nice high finish.
Brings up Pete Alonso, who has fly to center, struck out. Now, Ben, for Lodolo, the blister issues that he's had that have recurred going back to the minor league days, it's been off and on for years, happened as a result in part because of where he snaps his breaking ball that's so distinct from others.
Yeah, I mean, I used to fight blister problems too, and I had to learn how to get off the seams of the baseball, because a lot of times when you are on the seams of the baseball, you should throw my 4-seam fastball and I'd hold it just about right there. And so when the ball came off, it was off my middle finger and it ripped on that seam. And I had to learn to get up the baseball a little bit where my finger came off on the leather versus the seam. And that kept me from getting blister problems. I think the year was '93. I made 32 starts with a blister. And of course, I could never get away with it in today's game.
Bobbled by De La Cruz, who stays with it with Alonso running, retires the batter runner. Ward broke and still has third base.
Yeah, Taylor Ward, a little bit of a mistake right there. The rule at second base is you want to see the ball at you or behind you before you take an extra 90. If Ellie De La Cruz catches this ball, Taylor Ward's going to be out at third base, but that big arm makes up for it. He bobbles it, regains it, and still collects the out over at first base. Taylor Ward was dead to rights right there if Ellie feels that ball.
Ball was 105.5 off the bat. That throw from De La Cruz at 88. And now we're seeing the Reds' defensive alignment that's coordinated by former big leaguer Freddie Benavides. Again, pinching that 5-6 hole between short and third base. Kobe Mayo has grounded out to that side twice today.
A lot of room up the middle if Kobe Mayo can stay up the middle.
There is Freddie. coaches the infielders, lines that defense, chatting there with Gino Suarez. Brief word now from Apple.
Craving more baseball? Just tell Siri, show me today's MLB schedule.
It looks like some kind of an eye issue. Athletic trainer out to chat with Mayo.
Like he got something in the corner of his eye is what it looks like.
Now catcher Tyler Stevenson trots out to chat with the pitcher Nick Lodolo. Now, the number one reason why Mayo and the man on deck Tyler O'Neill get the nod today, they often do against lefties. And so far, Lodolo has induced 4 ground ball outs between the pair.
Yeah, Kobe Mayo came in hitting just 188 overall, but 286 versus left-handed pitching. That's why he's in the lineup. Take a look at Lodolo, man. He's been able to take a high-velocity fastball and use it the inside part of the plate, and that sweeping breaking ball behind it. We haven't seen many changeups. It's been mostly fastball breaking ball by Lodolo so far, but it's worked for him. He has, for the most part, stayed out of the middle part of the plate.
Smothered by Stevenson. Is that something you would consciously hold on to for, here it is the 3rd time through and kind of the middle of the order?
Ideally, you'd like to save something for the 3rd time through. I mean, sometimes you get yourself in a bind in a situation where you got to unload the tank just to get out of an inning when you get in trouble. But ideally, you'd like to get through the lineup the first couple of times, maybe with 2 or 3 pitches, and then have something to show the 3rd or the 4th time through.
That bounces by Stewart, who slaps his palm in the dirt. Taylor Ward scores. Shutout spoiled for Lodolo. Baltimore's on the board. Ribby hit for Mayo. It's 2-1.
Well, that's exactly why Kobe Mayo's in the lineup, because, again, he has handled left-handed pitching this year. Came in hitting 286 off left-handers. He barrels this ball up right here. Sal Stewart, this is why they call it the hot corner. That's finding the barrel right there. Ball just skips right by him. That's such a tough play because you never know how high the ball is going to come up off the grass.
Tyler O'Neill, foul ground, steer. That's in the seats. It's one thing that I feel like we've seen on this series, Ben, is some, particularly more up the middle than at third base, some big bounces on the infield dirt.
Well, when it gets hot, and look, they do a great job. We've seen them water the field here. They flood the water on this field, but still, when it's been as hot as it's been, the dirt gets really hard. The grass gets really hard as well. So we've seen a lot of high choppers in the ball. It looks like it's a pretty fast infield, too, to me.
And that's where it seems like the 2 respective shortstops in Henderson and De La Cruz have combined to make some really impressive plays.
I mean, every infield is a little bit different. That's why on day 1 of series, the visiting teams always come out and they take a lot of ground balls when weather allows them to do that, just to kind of get a feel, because every field's a little bit different. Some grass is a little bit higher in the infield. Some fields play a little bit slower than others, some faster than others.
2-1 count. Mayo a light lead at first base. Then runs in. And a walk. That's the first free pass drawn by Baltimore today.
That'll bring a mound visit. Quick talk with Nick Lodolo.
Matt Tracy is out for the chat. And there's been a lot of work with Lodolo between Matt Tracy and Oscar Marine, the Reds bullpen coach, in trying to keep him directional to home plate, to not throw across his body. How can we best explain that?
As you go down the slope, the idea, I mean, your front side is your steering wheel, right? So for Lodolo, he's left-handed, so the front side, the glove side is the steering wheel. And as you go down the slope, you want to keep your front side in the glove as long as you can. When you start to open up a little bit and you start to get what I call east to west, that's when the ball starts to fly. And a lot of times you end up leaving the ball kind of arm side and high. So the idea as you go down the slope is to keep your steering wheel in that mitt as long as you can, and then the backside comes through. You want to stay directional as you can.
And you wonder.
There's two things that pitchers always fight. One is being balanced over the rubber, letting everything catch up. The other thing is not going east to west as you go down the slope. Stay directional towards home plate. But again, being long, and I can relate to that, mechanically, when you're 6'6", 6'7", you can get out of sync just a little bit over the top of the rubber, and it's a lot out of sync by the time that ball travels at 60 feet and 6 inches. Not uncommon for big, tall pitchers with long levers to have mechanical issues. That is very common early in their career. I mean, go back and look at Randy Johnson's career early. I mean, obviously he was 6'10", 6'11". He had a lot to get out of whack, but it's very common for big, tall, long pitchers to get out of whack from time to time. The average big league pitcher is about 6'3". That's kind of the ideal height.
Where you can use that size and leverage to your advantage while staying true and tight.
Exactly. I always tell people, I mean, how many 6'6" golfers you see on the PGA Tour? And the answer to that is none, because it's hard to duplicate the swing being with a long leverage like that. It's the same thing for pitching.
2 strikes here. Taveras 0 for 2 to this point. And you wonder some, because Lodolo did see the walks spike a bit last time out when he was probably as cleanly directional as he's been. Needs some reps to get that feel.
Sometimes the results aren't there even when you do it the way you want to do it, but it's muscle memory and doing it right enough times to where it feels like you don't have to think about it anymore.
ABS. Is this end of inning? Ball.
I mean, by a sliver. You couldn't slide a sheet of paper in between that, I don't think.
Less than 1/10 of an inch.
I mean, right at the top of the zone. Stevenson does a nice job of yanking that one down.
Now Reds lose the challenge. Runners go. 3-2. Ball 4, bases loaded. 3 straight Orioles have reached with 2 down. The first drove in their first run. And now this feels like a huge moment for Jeremiah Jackson.
Yeah, the at-bats for the Orioles, I feel like the third time through, have been much better. They've taken some really close pitches. And that's what you want to see from your offense, for both these offenses. As you go the second, the third time through the lineup, can you make some adjustments and get some idea of how the pitcher is pitching you?
Lefty Brock Burke is getting up in the pen. First pitch foul by Jackson, who has struck out and bounced to Lodolo. Third time through this year, a major spike. And it's common to see that surge, but his the 4th highest leap in the majors.
Orioles 1 for 3 today, runners in scoring position.
Disengagement for Lodolo, who goes to the rosin. Ready for his 94th pitch. He's not gone 6 innings since the close of May. The lead at 1. And it seems like Jackson's been in swing mode on the heels of back-to-back walks, anticipating strikes.
Well, typically Jeremiah Jackson very aggressive at home plate. And not a big guy, but there's some real pop in his bat too.
Mr. Baseball in Alabama. This will be the 26th pitch of the inning on a hot afternoon for Nick Lodolo.
And a lot of room out in left center field. Jeremiah Jackson can get one out there. Center fielder Friedel's kind of swung over.
And noticeably in this spot, Friedel and Noel V. Marte at center and right are cheating in a couple of steps more than normal.
Infield kind of straight up. But the scout report must be if he gets it in the air, Jeremiah Jackson is going to the backside of the field.
Kobe Mayo's 2-out hit drove in the Orioles' first run. He is the tying tally at third base. Tyler O'Neill worked the first of back-to-back walks. He is a go-ahead run at second. One-two. Struck him out.
Big time pitch right there. bases loaded. He bends that breaking ball in there to get the Reds off the field. The Orioles get one back. Take a look at this one right here. A perfectly thrown breaking ball to get the Reds off the field. We got a 2-1 ball game, folks.
MLB app has you covered all season long. We invite you to check out playball.org for some more information on how you can get involved. The MLB app also has personalized highlights, push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball.
Well, big inning for Kyle Bradish right here. He gave up 2 in the 5th inning. A Spencer Steer 2-run home run. Orioles get 1 back for him in the top of the 6th, and now he's going to go right through the top of the lineup again for the Reds.
Strikeout, ground out for De La Cruz. Entered on an 8-game hit streak, hitting .345. When he has been on, he's been running a lot more, starting with this series. And Ben, he's been hitting the ball hard. He's top tier in hard hit rate and exit velo as it is, but it's been a lot of 105 pluses in the last week plus.
You talk about athleticism. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz is fun to watch on both sides of the ball.
And there's been a domino effect for the man who's on deck. Sal Stewart's an all-star for the first time. He leads these Reds in homers and RBIs, but his consistency and productivity, I don't think it's entirely coincidental. It has been tied in some with at least the appearance of Ellie De La Cruz in the lineup, who's had his own IL time.
100%, because when De La Cruz can get on in front of Stewart, that's when you start to take me as a pitcher. You start to take my attention away from home plate, and I'm worried about holding De La Cruz at first base where he doesn't steal second base, and that's when mistakes start to happen. So that's why it's so important for De La Cruz to get on in front of Stewart.
Popped up, later break by Rutschman. No play. That's on the other side of the net. You got to think Nick Lodolo is done. He's just south of 100 pitches. Brock Burke has been up at times in the Reds bullpen, while Bradish has still been brutally efficient to this point. Only his 68th pitch of the game. Swing and miss. Strikes out De La Cruz for a second time.
I always say spin them if you got them, and Kyle Bradish can spin that breaking ball, man. That's the good one there. You see where that ball ends up down. The one he got hurt on was an elevated breaking ball by Spencer Steer. This one's down right at the bottom of the zone. And again, what makes him so tough, like Lodolo, it's high velocity. So you got to get your foot down and go. You got to respect that high velocity fastball. And anytime you can spin a breaking ball in there behind it, a lot of times you're going to have a lot of success.
Roll to first. Alonso says, I got it. Brief word now from Ford. That brings up J.J. Bleday. Ground out, line out. Jeremiah Jackson made a nice play against him in the first. And so far today, very modest tweak to the pitch mix for Bradish. We're seeing a little less of the four-seamer that he doesn't use a ton in general anyway. A lot more of that curveball today. He's used it overwhelmingly against lefties. Now, Bleday had a near miss, would be an overstatement, but a very well hit foul ball in his last at bat down the right field line, and stung it pretty well to center for his out. Taveras did not have the cleanest read at first, but made the play.
Kyle Bradish's four-seam fastball's got a little bit of cut to it. You can see that last pitch, it kind of goes right back into the barrel a little bit. And again, the two-seamer is what changed his career in a lot of ways, because if you think about it, all three of his pitches 3 years ago kind of all went right to left. The four-seam fastball had a cut to it. The slider and the curveball went a little bit down and right to left. And then he started to get something where he could kind of go east and west on you a little bit with that two-seamer.
Is it possible we could see a return of the sinker after a long era where four-seam top of the zone was a premier pitch? Because in part, I think, of ABS, there's a firmer definition that seems lower to the top of the zone.
I really feel like the last couple of years we're seeing more two-seam fastballs in the game than what we saw 4 or 5 years ago. There was a time where everybody was having sticky stuff and we were challenging high spin rate fastballs at the top of the zone. Hitters did a good job of adjusting and working on that, and now you see the pitchers trying to stay one step ahead. And now you start to look at Pitch Savant, and there's a lot of pitchers now incorporating two-seam fastballs. I've always felt like whatever swing path that you're facing, you have the option with either fastball. So if you got a big bottom to top uppercut type swing, you want to attack at the top of the zone. If you got more of a flatter bat path you're facing, you want to attack more down in the zone. And so it gives pitchers an option to be able to, no matter what bat path you're facing, you can still attack them in different ways with a fastball.
Payoff pitch, fouled back.
The game feels like, it's me, it's starting to transition in some ways back to mid-90s baseball. If you look at the Tampa Bay Rays, who are having a ton of success this year, if you look at the Milwaukee Brewers, they lead the league in sack bunts. There's a lot of hit and runs, stealing bases, shortening up with 2 strikes. I start to see more and more guys now having a 2-strike approach than what we saw. Because we thought, and it worked for a while, the 3 true outcomes was the game 5 or 6 years ago. It feels like it's starting to transition back. If you look at the Rays and what they do, it's the flattest bat path as a team in baseball.
Yep.
They strike out the fewest amount of times in baseball. Because, I mean, a lot of the analytical people told us, well, strikeouts are okay if you hit home runs. But what when you're not hitting home runs, how do you score runs then?
Broke his bat. 1, 2, 3. After an inning with some runners and runs, Bradish back on track against the top of the order. Summer's #1 show is back for the ultimate competition. Don't miss an all-new America's Got Talent Tuesday on NBC and Peacock. John, Ben, and Jim with you here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Finale of a 3-game set. Baltimore took the first 2, bidding for a 4-game win streak for the first time this year. Reds trying to avoid a sweep. They have entered with losses in 6 of 7. Brock Burke has entered a ton of games this year for the Reds.
Yeah, he leads the Reds in appearances, making his 44th appearance of the year. A solid ERA, a shade over 3, 41 1/3. And the walks can be an issue for Brock Burke from time to time. 26 walks in 41 1/3, but 36 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just 208 off the left-hander Burke, and it's a big arm. 4-seam fastball is going to average 96. A little slider, changeup, an occasional sinking fastball.
Faces Blaze Alexander. Couple of hits today. First pitch stung down the left field line. Foul.
And Brock Burke's a big guy too. He's got that extension, so 6 feet 8 inches of extension going towards home plate. The average big league pitcher about 6 feet 4 inches of extension, so that 96 is probably playing more like 97, even 98, because he's a little bit closer to home plate when he lets it go.
Bounce to third, Stewart. So I'd imagine part of the reason to bring in Burke here, it's right-handers bracketing the lone lefty in Henderson. The third hitter is the switch-hitting Rutschman. Burke is fairly platoon neutral to lefties and righties, and it also can help ensure, because he can give some length at times, the bench is all left-handed for Baltimore.
Right. No, it's so valuable when you're an equal splits guy. I mean, you get the righties out just as well as you do the lefties. That makes you very valuable. And of course, to be able to give length more than one inning pitch is a big value as well. And of course, the Reds bullpen has struggled this year. I mean, 4.69 ERA, 25th out of 30 teams in baseball. Last year they were 14th. It's kind of been the bugaboo for the Reds a little bit. Now, there's been a lot of injuries to this bullpen as well.
And walks have been a significant issue for the team. That's heightened in relief. We've seen a number of walks on the series come around to score. 0-2. And that's, you mentioned the walks for Burke. It's his second highest walk rate in his career, but his lowest hit per 9 rate, one of his lower home run rates. So base runners, but not a lot of damage. Henderson sails this one down the right field line, straddling the line on the fair side, snared by Steer, 2 down. Well, the switch hitting Rutschman singled in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Rutschman this year is slightly better against right-handed pitching, but on his career, the average actually works out in his favor, and his OPS goes up more as a right-handed hitter. You mentioned the extension, and sometimes even in just how the ball's received, that pop in the mitt, the take of the hitter. Certain fastballs that say the same number on the radar gun don't look the same.
Yeah, you hear the heavy ball. You hear a lot of catchers say so-and-so's got a heavy ball, heavy sinking fastball, and those are the balls that just feel firm. It's weird to say, but some guys have a light 98, like it doesn't pop the mitt, and other guys that throw 95, 96, it feels a little bit heavier from time to time.
To De La Cruz. 1-2-3 entry for Burke. We'll keep it here on this 4th of July weekend. On this sunny Sunday, let's listen in to God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please stand, kindly remove your hats and face the American flag. Major League Baseball, the Reds and the Orioles salute the men and women of our armed forces, as well as those who serve to protect in our local police and fire departments. At this time, please help us honor these brave men and women and all our veterans of service, and welcome Master Sergeant Brandon Bourne on guitar and Staff Sergeant Megan Haskell as they lead us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Oh, we need that mister up here. Score big, authentic gear. MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Scan that QR code. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. Do you think we can move the broadcast there?
That would be nice. Little mister, cool you off on a hot, humid day.
First pitch miss. Bradish away to Eugenio Suarez, whose walk spoiled his perfecto. Got aboard to begin the 2-run 5th. Outside of that 5th inning, Bradish has been brutally efficient.
Yeah, I mean, 27 pitches in the 5th inning, and he's averaged just 10 pitches per inning since then. To kind of give you an idea, the average big league pitcher throws about 16, 17 pitches per inning. So Bradish only one rough inning for him, and that's why he's been efficient. Just 79 pitches in here to the 7th inning.
Suarez is also struck out today. And he pops this up shallow center. Taveras. Well, the only runs of the game for the Reds came off the bat of Spencer Steer, who rallied from down 0-2 to full and then went opposite way for his 14th home run.
Yeah, I tell you what, he got down early in the count too, fought off some really tough pitches, and then finally got him a 3-2 breaking ball. And he didn't pull it for a home run. He hit it to the backside of the field. His 14th long ball of the year. This is the home run that we're talking about right here. And again, 3-2 count. A little slider gets in there, just kind of bends it to the outside part of the plate. But you talk about on time was Spencer Steer. That's when the Reds would jump out with a 2-0 lead. The Orioles would get one back in the next inning.
Driven to right again. This time O'Neill right in front of the track. Well, Bradish trying to go 7 or more for the 5th time this year. He's done it 17 times in his career. Looking for his 3rd such outing in just his last 4 starts.
Yeah, he's made some big adjustments, because the last time out we talked about it, he had 5 walks his last time out. Only 1 so far today. He's been so efficient. He's attacked. He's put hitters on. People always look at pitching as defense. I've always looked at pitching as offense, attacking the hitter to put a hitter on the defense right away. And really, Lodolo did it for the Reds, and Bradish has done it too. A lot of first pitch strikes, and they both pounded the strike zone in this game.
It's funny you say that. Tyler Stevenson is singled. He is grounded out. He's 1 for 2. The notion of the pitcher being that primary instigator of a defense, it's the only sport that I can readily think of where that defensive team is initiating play. They're beginning the action.
All you got to do is look at the numbers. I mean, big league hitters hit 330 when they're ahead in the count. When they're behind in the count, it goes down to 190. And in any 2-strike count, 0-2, 3-2, 2-2, big league hitters are hitting 169. So if you show pitchers that, it's just, the numbers don't lie.
Slap to right, and it skips on O'Neill. Second base knock for the Reds backstop.
Like that approach by Tyler Stevenson right there. Not trying to do too much. This is what you call a nice short stroke to the ball. Another breaking ball. Just kind of sits up in the zone. He's not trying to do too much. Just trying to put barrel on ball. Love how he just watch his nose. Just sticks his nose on it, goes up top shelf, and serves it out to right field for a base hit. That's what you call flattening your swing. That's hard to do because a lot of guys have that uppercut swing now. A ball that gets to the top shelf of the strike zone, can you flatten out your swing and hit a line drive? That was a nice move to the ball.
Reds catchers are now 5 for their last 7. Both Stevenson and Jose Trevino have had very good series. Noelvi Marte has struck out. Big chase there. He also on a check swing softly in between lined and popped to Pete Alonso his last time. Orioles have out-hit the Reds 6-3. It's the 2-run Steer homer padded by the walk. Bradish has already tied a season high with 10 groundouts induced in this game. And one thing I notice is Pete Alonso holds on Stevenson, obviously right-hand thrower. So he's got his body angled a bit. He's constantly lightly hopping, trying to stay athletically engaged in case of a throw.
Pete Alonso's been better than advertised for the Orioles on defense. Everybody talks about the offensive numbers, but he's arguably had a Gold Glove caliber type year halfway through the year for the Orioles. He's been a lot better on defense. Now, we always heard he could pick the balls. He's a really good picker of the ball, but he has actually played defense really well for the Orioles. And it's something he worked hard on in spring training, kind of a jab step, what you call getting in the ready position. You'll see most infielders, some guys will walk it up to stay their feet in motion, to land on the balls of their feet. Other guys just kind of stand in place and they hop on the balls of their feet. It puts them in an athletic position because they want to be hopping and be in that athletic position on the balls of your feet as the ball's crossing home plate, because it gives you the best chance to react.
Bounce to third, backing up Alexander, short way to second. 7 strong from Kyle Bradish. A season high in ground balls outs induced.
Star Spangled Sunday. Every team, every game, one home. Action continues on NBC, Peacock, and NBCSN. And tonight at 7 o'clock, premiere matchup on NBC and Peacock. Padres Dodgers. Pods in a skid right now. Dodgers 7-2 versus San Diego this season. And of course, the game features Shohei Ohtani, one of 5 All-Stars for the Dodgers.
Thank you, Jim. It's Shohei's 32nd birthday. Had some biceps tightness. Did not play yesterday. Dodgers trying to make it a 4-game sweep of the Padres for the first time since 2009. Padres trying to avoid losing 9 or more in a row for the first time since 2013.
Wow. Well, the Reds will turn to their second reliever of the day. Brock Burke was good. One perfect inning for him. Now time for T.J. Antone, making his 26th appearance of the year. He has been outstanding. 2.52 ERA, 25 innings of work, only 7 walks, 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Opponents hitting just 185 off the right-hander, Antone.
3-time Tommy John man just recently got a proof of his book about his comeback from a 3rd Tommy John surgery. Taylor Ward, who has singled, doubled, and scored, has had one of the best offensive days for Baltimore.
Yep. And Antone heavy on that sweeper. That's his favorite pitch. He'll throw it about 50% of the time. Cutter, curveball, and a sinker after that.
Now, coming off a 3rd Tommy John, Antone added 2 pitches this year, including that sweeper that he only discovered playing catch with current teammate Sam Maul. Now, Maul, a lefty who leans on a sweeper. When they played catch, Maul threw a few of them. It shocked Antone. He liked the look of it. He asked, how do you throw it? He showed him the grip. And only adding that pitch this year,
wow,
it's now the primary offering.
Now it's his main pitch.
Breaking ball strike. Now the big snapping curve was his trademark, along with the triple digits heater, before Tommy John kind of made Captain Hook adjust a bit.
And really the sweeper is a little bit easier to control too. The big curveball is harder sometimes to land for strikes. That sweeper just kind of stays on plane, and that's the difference between a sweeper, a sweeping slider, and a traditional slider. The sweeper kind of stays on plane, got more horizontal to it. The traditional slider, a little bit of horizontal, but more depth to that one.
Payoff pitch. Swing and miss, strike 3.
I mean, the plate's just 17 inches wide. It feels like this sweeper is just sweeping all the way across the plate. Watch where it starts. Starts on the inside part. It ends up on the outside part of the plate.
Now, something I hear, Ben, from men who throw that pitch today, Pete Alonso 0 for 3 stands in, a massive power threat. The ability to add and subtract, almost like an accordion, to adjust that sweeper.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can change speeds, because everybody knows that's his main pitch, but when you can add a little bit to it, take a little bit off, you can still get guys out in front or a little bit behind it, depending on how hard you throw it.
Now, Craig Albernaz, it looks like, is employing his bench with a righty now on the mound. The powerful catcher, Samuel Basayo, is on deck to pinch hit in the DH spot for Kobe Mayo. And perhaps in part seeing that or sensing the prone opportunity, an issue here for our home plate man Brian O'Nora. The Reds have responded. They have lefty Caleb Ferguson warming, but keep in mind Antone is only facing his second hitter. He would have to oppose Basayo, the on deck.
Exactly.
Check swing, he went. Alonso wants time. Full count. Alonso one dinger shy of his 7th 20 home run campaign.
Slow start for Alonso, but boy, he has certainly come on in the last 2.5 months.
Payoff. In the air to right at Noelvi Marte. Barely budges. 2 down. So now the biggest power threat of the set for Baltimore pinch hits.
Yeah, Samuel Basayo's had a big weekend for the Orioles. This was a 3-1 fastball from Brady Singer. 2-seam fastball working away from him. And Samuel Basayo, for a young guy, just 21 years old, realizes he can lead just about in any part of the ballpark. It's an advanced approach for a young man. And look, That's how fast the hands are right there. That's a 100-mile-an-hour fastball from Hunter Green, and he somehow gets the barrel to it and blows it out. That was yesterday a 3-run shot in the first inning off of Hunter Green.
So 5 ribbies between those first 2 affairs. Both Baltimore wins. Now his entry to the game. 14 bombs on the year, trying to make it big flies in 3 straight if he were to leave the yard. The Reds are playing Spencer Steer fairly tight to the chalk, pull side at first.
Boy, look how deep Friedel is out in center field. That's what you call 2 out, no doubles.
Yeah, that's a good eye. It looks like all 3 outfielders are about as deep as you can play in this smaller park.
Well, when you're up by 1, you don't want that tying run to get in the scoring position. So the outfield's going to back up. They'll concede a single out in front of them, but they don't want the ball to get over their heads.
Swing and a miss. And something else to consider when you play that deep. Sometimes it can be the ball in front of you if you don't charge it right, even though you got a catcher running, but a younger guy that could still result in that second bag. 0-2. Hard foul. Look out, Oriole dugout. Antone leans on the breaker. Basayo, a big dude, 6'4", 250.
Yeah, he fills up a batter's box. I'm talking about big time.
Nice stab in the stands. One-run games have been misery for Baltimore this year, just 6 and 13. Struck him out. Bookend K's in a perfect inning for T.J. Antone.
Big time pitch right there. We talked about that sweeping slider of Antone's, and you can't throw one any better than this, folks. Samuel Basayo's been hot, but not on this one.
Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative, highlighting the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, scan that QR code, go to playball.org, or follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Well, 7th time that Kyle Bradish pitches into an 8th inning in his career, his 3rd time this campaign.
He has been outstanding today. You could call it a 3-2 breaking ball a mistake. I don't know that it was. It wasn't a terrible pitch, especially on a 3-2 count.
T.J. Friedel to center, Taveras. Brief word now from MLB.
MLB and T-Mobile offer you a chance to win trips to all 30 stadiums. The views, the food, the vibe. Begin your journey to 30. Enter now.
Well, Bradish at 90 pitches has 2 men now warming behind him. Rico Garcia warmed as we came back on the air. Anthony Nunez has since joined him. Edwin Arroyo has grounded out twice. The Reds had veteran lefty Caleb Ferguson warming, but now up 1. 9th inning on the horizon. Closer Emilio Pagan, who has 1 outing since coming back off the IL, prepares. Bradish has gone 8 4 times in his career. All 4 of those times it was no runs. That includes when he struck out 9 in Anaheim against the Angels a couple of starts ago. Gets through, base hit. Seeing eye single for Arroyo.
Wasn't hit hard, but boy, was it ever hit in the perfect space. Arroyo, a 1 for 3 day, gets a little slider kind of elevated Gets it off the label a little bit, but shoves it right in between Jeremiah Jackson and Gunnar Henderson.
Arroyo was an efficient and decent volume-based dealer in the minors. He's 0 for 1 so far in the bigs. Ellie De La Cruz is 0 for 3 today. He has struck out twice, grounded out once.
Reds kind of middle of the pack in stolen bases this year with 63 of them. They sit at 14th.
Down to De La Cruz. Middle infield heavily shading De La Cruz to pull. While Tyler O'Neill's playing time has been more limited of late, more often when lefties are on the mound for the opponent, he has made some nice plays in right field, including a diving catch in the last week.
Well, he's a two-time Gold Glover, and he has. I mean, last year he kind of nicked up a little bit, didn't move quite as well as he wanted to move. But this year, for the most part, he's been healthy. And you're right. Seems like the last 2 or 3 weeks, his defense has picked up a notch or two, like Colton Cowser's has as well.
This is a premier chance for the Reds to try to add on, expand a slight 1-run lead. De La Cruz, who's been an all-star in years past, their usual leadoff man and one of their 2 all-stars in this 2026 season. Rookie of the Year candidate Sal Stewart on deck. That bounces away, and Alert Arroyo takes off for second. Wild pitch.
Well, that's the thing about Kyle Bradish. He's going to throw a lot of breaking balls in the dirt. And for the most part, Adley Rutschman is doing great behind home plate. But when you're in that one knee stance right there, the only chance you've got a lot of times is to kind of pick it on the backhand side. That ball hits right off the heel of the mitt and kicks away. Arroyo takes an extra 90, gets himself in a scoring position.
The Reds' first such chance today. The Reds' runs came on the homer by Steer when Suarez had walked and was at first base. This is their first chance with a man in scoring position this afternoon. Larger lead for Arroyo. Jackknife back by De La Cruz. It looks like both Rico Garcia and Anthony Nunez are ready in the Baltimore pen.
Yeah, this feels like it's going to be the last batter for Kyle Bradish. A little over 100 pitches in now.
Payoff. Struck him out.
Wow. 94 mile an hour. That one elevated. Kyle Bradish, his 5th strikeout of the day, and he's going to stay in there. You can see the target kind of on the inside part of the plate. This ball gets away. That's what you call a good miss right there. Right on the outside edge at 94. There comes Craig Albanez out of that dugout. Looks like he's going to make a move.
Well, Sal Stewart due up. The first-year skipper strides out to Bradish. They've had 2 righties warming for some time. Looks like he's going to leave him in there.
Well, he certainly earned the right to stay in.
It looked like before he went out, he had raised a single index finger and seemed to be checking with Bradish. Do you think he can go one more? Do you have one more? Well,
Bradish has gotten Stewart 3 times, all on ground balls.
He's grounded to short, to second, to first. It's been a bit since Henderson's made a major play. That's how Stewart was retired the first time. When Stewart's really going right, he was the National League's Rookie of the Month for March and April to begin the year. A lot of contact the opposite way. About half his homers have gone the opposite way. But a lot of that's dictated by how he's pitched. When the drop-off came for Stewart, as it can for any rookie, it coincided some with De La Cruz being hurt and also with the league pounding more fastballs in.
Yeah, I mean, look, the league sees how you're hitting, and then they start to make some adjustments. Up to you to make some adjustments. And for a young man just 22 years old, sometimes those adjustments take a little bit of time.
Appeal, no go. Bit of a loosening of the breaking ball in terms of the command here for Bradish.
You can see it's starting to sway just a little bit, but the command's been great for me today. But again, he's 105 pitches in, just trying to navigate and get through this 8th inning.
Hard ground ball, fair! Just inside the line, Arroyo around third, he scores! The Red Star rookie, all-star Sal Stewart threads a standing ribby double. It's a 3-1 game.
That's a big-time swing right there by the rookie. I mean, watch how fast his hands are, too, man. He just pulls the hands in tight to the body on that breaking ball and gets a barrel and just rifles it right by the third baseman, Blaze Alexander. And the Reds play a little add-on here in the bottom of the 8th inning, now up 3-1.
Well, that double chases Bradish, who had a sensational Sunday afternoon, but a couple of extra base hits burn him for the 3 runs. Book still open, pitching change for the Orioles. Stewart's team leading 21st double, plates a 3rd run for the Reds, 3-1 Cincinnati. J.J. Bleday stands in. Stewart at second outing of the series for Rico Garcia.
Rico Garcia making his 41st appearance. That leads the Orioles in appearances. 37 2/3, man. He's been good. 41 strikeouts with a very good 2.39 ERA. Rico Garcia, 4-seam fastball. That fastball is going to average right at 95. Changeup's the 2nd most used pitch. Slider and a curveball as well.
He was the first out of the pen on Friday, went 2 scoreless, gave up 1 hit. It was the only pitch he threw to J.J. Bleday. He was 0 for 3 today. Big rip comes up empty.
That's a changeup and probably Rico Garcia's best pitch.
Part of why, with the bullpen of only 1 lefty, he gets this spot against a lefty.
He can neutralize the left-handers with that pitch right there, the changeup.
Snap throw down, that can be a little dangerous. Stewart scurries back. Kyle Bradish, by the way, book still open as it stands 7 2/3, 3 runs, 5 hits, a walk, 5 Ks. He threw a season high 106 pitches, one off his career high that was pre-Tommy John in September of 23. ABS.
We have it.
Ball. Tight.
My goodness, huh? We've seen a couple of those today.
2 pitches that were each less than 1/10 of an inch away from being a strike. Full count. Payoff pitch. Popped up. Alexander into foul ground. Garcia does his job. Reds added a run. It's still a save situation. For the first time since he got hurt a month plus into the year, the Reds' incumbent closer, Emilio Pagan, enters in a save situation. You're watching Star Spangled Sunday on Peacock, presented by Ford. Two-run tilt finale on this weekend at Great American Ballpark. Sal Stewart's double added on the latest run for the Reds. It's 3-1, Cincinnati the lead. Baltimore's last chance here in the regulation 9. They'll face Emilio Pagan.
Emilio Pagan making his 17th appearance of the year. Spent about a month on the IL with a hamstring injury. 14 1/3 is all he has worked so far. 12 strikeouts with 6 walks, and opponents hitting .259 off the right-hander. Pagan trying to pick up his 7th save of the year.
His second outing since coming off the IL. His last save try was May the 4th. Gave up 2 runs against the Cubs at Wrigley. His last successful save was April 17th when the Reds swept the Twins in Minnesota, his former home. Dylan Beavers pinch hits. First pitch fouled away. He stands in for Tyler O'Neill.
Four-seam fastball leads the way for Pagan about 60% of the time. A little cutter and a split finger fastball as well.
Now he's been up late multiple times in recent games. He only threw 8 pitches his first game back, got 1 out 3 days ago, make it 4. And Terry Francona said he wanted to make sure that he just got on the game mound. It had been so long since he'd been in a major league game. Reds were down in that game against Milwaukee, but he was able to get a strikeout and see some game action. Somewhere between a grade 1, grade 2 hamstring that Pagan thought the worst when he crumpled down at Wrigley. He thought his year was possibly over. Fouled back. Beavers in game 1 was 0 for 4. 33rd overall pick in 22 out of Cal. Part of an all left-handed bench today. It's Taveras on deck. Jeremiah Jackson would, in theory, hit third. Jackson Holiday and Colton Cowser are both on the pine for Craig Albernaz. Payoff pitch. Inside, tying run will come to the plate. A leadoff walk drawn by Dylan Beavers.
Nice at bat by Dylan Beavers. That's kind of what he does best. Kind of an advanced approach for a younger guy. Pagan tries to shove this four-seam fastball on the inside of the part of the plate and just barely misses by a ball at 96. So a good start for the Orioles here in the top of the 9th, needing 2 to tie.
And what do you know? Jackson Holiday is now the on-deck man for Jeremiah Jackson. Taveras has walked on an 0 for 2 day. 0 to 1. Down and in. Good stab by Stevenson. Since the start of May, the Reds 20 wins against 37 losses. That's the worst mark in the majors. And the bullpen ERA right at the heart of it. Only the A's and Rockies have had a worse bullpen ERA in that time.
Bullpen's been good so far today, though. Anton was good. Burke was good.
Each offered a perfect inning. 19 leads lost since the start of May. That's the second most in the majors. Baltimore has not known an advantage today. Was down 2-0 at the close of the 5th. Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Take a look at this big time pitch right here. Just grabs that four-seam fastball and just rips it in there at 96. Pagan's got that elevated fastball. Good high spin. Spins at about 2,600 RPMs. I mean, it's got that good carry through the zone, and you'll see a lot of swings like that off that kind of fastball just underneath the ball. Just because the ball stays on plane a little bit more, it deceives the hitter's eyes a little bit.
Now, part of the chat here, Jackson Holliday does pinch hit. He walked twice, scored once, had a steal yesterday. His 2 outs came on line drives. But after a 17-homer, 21-double year last year, the hamate injury seems to have curbed any advancement at 26.
Yeah, it slowed him down a little bit because he was supposed to be back maybe a little bit before he actually came back, had a couple of setbacks, and he's just not right yet. But hey, one big swing right here changes all that.
Long pause by Pagan, misses.
Pagan does a good job controlling the running game. You can see that. It's not a big high leg kick at all. He almost slide steps going towards home plate because Beavers can run a little bit. But he's not going to run on Pagan because Pagan gets the ball to home plate quickly.
Strike.
That's right where Pagan wants to throw that fastball, right about top shelf where it plays the best.
Does have that nasty split when it's working. No chase there.
Like the splitter there at 83, so tough for hitters right there. 96 fastball, 83, so about a 13-mile-per-hour difference between the two.
Two one away. At one point, Pagan had issue cleanly remembering his grip on that split. It morphed over time, and then he remembered a former teammate, Justin Wilson, had asked for images of how he handled the pitch. In there for a strike. He had a video in an old text thread that he had sent to him. We'll get ABS here, maybe. Just an open mic. Here it is, ABS. And a ball. That's ball 4. So Pagan was watching along with all of us. The big board in left field. It's his second walk of the inning.
Boy, a four-seam fastball. I mean, right at the bottom. Just a shade low.
But Pagan went to that video to remind himself of how he properly holds and then executes the pitch.
That's interesting. So he found a grip that he liked again.
Here's one of the Orioles' best contact hitters, Blaze Alexander. 2 hits today. He's been particularly good in scoring position. ABS again on a first pitch strike. Huge leverage moment. It's a ball.
Yeah, Blaze Alexander leads the Orioles hitting with runners in scoring position. An amazing 383 is what he's hit this year. Those are big time numbers.
Tying runs are on. Go ahead run at the plate. Beavers hopped a huge lead on that pitch by Pagan. Chipped foul by Alexander. Going back to the 1st of May, Alexander a crisp 500 with men in scoring position, the best in the bigs. Gunnar Henderson on deck. Strike 2. Alexander asks for and gets time.
Man, this has been a good game. Coming all the way down to the wire.
Beavers and Holiday lead. Pagan delivers. Fought foul. Good leaning grab by a fan with a glove.
Nice catch.
Step off, no throw. Disengagement by Pagan. Way high. Went full on Beavers, walked him. Struck out Taveras. Holiday won a challenge to work a walk. This AB began with a challenge. Fouled away.
Fighting off some tough pitches is Blaze Alexander. That's kind of what he's been doing as of late. Just fouling off tough ones and looking for a mistake.
Just in case, Andrew Kittredge is up in the Baltimore pen. This will be the 7th pitch of this AB. Alexander has already fouled off 4 pitches. That's rocked into left field, base hit. Stop sign at third. Good charge and scoop by Blade. They hold Beavers. It's bases loaded, 1 out for Gunnar Henderson.
Man, how about the day for Blaze Alexander out of the 9 hole for the Orioles? A 3-for-4 day. And he fought off some tough ones, and there's a mistake he was looking for. It looked like a little bit of a slider kind of left in the heart of the plate, and Blaze Alexander just puts a barrel on it and rips it right in between short and third. So bases loaded, just 1 out.
Another thing to consider, Pagan's a veteran. He's been around. He knows how to get his workload right to be ready for a game. But he was so efficient, throwing so many strikes. He didn't pitch a whole lot during his rehab. And he only had the 8 pitches 4 days ago in a game against the Brewers.
So he's still trying to knock off a little rust every now and then. You can tell he's spraying it a little bit. The stuff is good, though.
And he's now getting set for his 24th pitch in what's been a pretty high effort inning to this point. And that's at 1 swing, and that could be the ball game. Henderson is 0 for 4 today. He's 1 for 11 on the series. Lifetime bases loaded, couple of grandies, hitting .273. Strike 1. Caleb Ferguson is up again in the Reds pen. He had warmed an inning ago. 25th pitch for Pagan. High. More balls than strikes at this point. Foul tip, strike 2.
He likes that fastball right up towards the top. Foul tipped right into the glove.
Pagan right now sitting 95 and a half with that fastball. Henderson stays alive.
Such a tough pitch. I mean, that ball's just above the last 2, just above the top of the zone. But as a hitter, you see it so good right in the heart of the plate. You think you can catch up to it, but again, that ball's got a lot of analytical data to it. It is hard to get on top of that fastball at the top shelf.
1-2. Ribbon to left. Ledet has it red. Makes the catch near the track. Tag at third only. Sac fly RBI. Beavers scores. It's a one-run game.
Pretty good at bat by Gunnar Henderson. Pagan kept attacking him right at the top of the zone with that four-seam fastball and finally got enough of one to shove it deep enough. And the Orioles are down to their final out. Down one with the tie-in run in scoring position.
Adley Rutschman 1 for 4 today. 4 knocks on the series. Takes strike 1. When the Reds got off to a robust start and they had the best record in the National League Central at the close of April, Emilio Pagan was right at the heart of it. On this very hot day, Tyler Stevenson trying to stretch out. Stay loose at the plate. Home plate man Ryan O'Nora giving him a moment. Tomas Vera, athletic trainer, coming up the steps. Now, Jim Day, you talked to Tyler Stevenson in advance of the weekend about hydrating.
Yeah, pro athletes always hydrate, obviously, but on weekends like today, days like today, hard to be a catcher, and he overhydrates to the point where he's going to the restroom so much before the game, it's over and over and over again. But there has been cramping issues in both dugouts here today, including the umpires who have come back in between innings to get hydrated. It's that hot today.
Well, you can see Stevenson, he keeps pulling on that right toe. Probably got a cramp in his hamstring area, I would think.
Just gave a big up and down nod that he's okay. 2 on, 2 out, 1-run game. Pagan's 0-1 to Rutschman. Check swing, did he go? Yes, at the plate, strike 2.
Let's take a look at it from the side. Adley Rutschman didn't think he went. Did he go? One of those 50-50 balls there. Could have gone either way.
Oh, 2. Fouled away. Reds trying to snap a 6-game slide at home. Baltimore had visions of its first 4-game winning streak of the year and its second ever sweep of the Reds. Center field, Friedel. Pagan closes the door. The Reds avoid the sweep as they best Baltimore in the finale. A 3-2 final.
Yeah, I tell you what, Nick Lodolo looked good. He bounced back from a rough earlier in the month. He was outstanding. Kyle Bradish outstanding as well. Gives up 3 runs in 7 2/3. The big blow for the Reds. Obviously, Spencer Steer there in the 5th inning, a 2-run home run on a 3-2 hanging breaking ball. Sal Stewart late in the ball game in the 8th with an RBI double to give the Reds 3 runs. The Orioles fought back, had some opportunities there in the 9th inning, just come up a little bit short against the Reds.
So Baltimore takes the set, but the Reds win the day. A 3-2 finish, a tight affair here in Cincinnati. This was the big blast you're talking about. Man on, nobody out. Spencer Steer on a payoff.
Yeah, Spencer Steer, 14th long ball of the year. 3-2 count. He just kind of leans on a breaking ball in the outer third of the plate. I love that approach. He flattens out the bat and powers it out. His 14th long ball. We were scoreless at that point. That was a 2-run shot there in the 5th inning.
Well, the Reds are now 20-13 against the American League, while Baltimore falls to 6-14 in 1-run games. on the season. Big blast by Steer, the add-on double by Stewart. Kyle Bradish was excellent, so was Nick Lodolo. The two